welcome back to the Real Southern Garden. I'm Sarah, and today I'm going to take you to Tractor Supply and show you what awesome garden center deals they have right now. So I normally will go to Tractor Supply and I'll find some really cool things at the big box stores like Home Depot and Lowe's. I mean, Tractor Supply is a big box store, don't get me wrong, but they're a little smaller than Lowe's and Home Depot. They're still in most states, and they are in most, I would say, major cities in the United States. And I just find some really great things there. Right now, as you guys know, if you've watched my other videos, I've been talking about trying to hunt down silver gumdrop heuchera because I want to add that to my shade garden. My front flower bed is very shady in the summertime. I have tons of incredible hydrangeas up here. Daffodils, of course, bloom in the spring, but incredibles, and then I've been adding some azaleas. And of course, some heuchera, because everyone knows heuchera loves shade. So it's one of the things you can grow in a very shady garden. I've been on the hunt for that silver gumdrop heuchera since the fall and have not found it anywhere, even at Pike's. In Pike's Nursery, I love Pike's. They are kind of a much, much smaller chain just here in the South. They did not even have the silver gumdrop in yet. And I was there last week talking to them. I can get it online, of course, but if I can find it local, it's always a little bit easier. I can see the plant, see how it looks and all that good stuff, especially for something like this. And I found it at Tractor Supply. I did not expect to find it, but I did. And I found it for a great price. While I was there, I also found some really, really great deals on azaleas, different kinds of azaleas than I had been seeing at Lowe's and Home Depot. And I'll tell you what I mean. So growing up, my mom had some really beautiful old, hope I pronounce this right, I think it's indica. Is it indica how you say it? The old-fashioned purple fuchsia pink azaleas. And they were right in front of our house. It's where we took all of our Easter pictures when my sister and I were little kids. And it reminds me of home. It reminds me of just springtime. And I had to have some of those on my property. But they only bloom once. Well, they have come out with a rebloom variety now of the old-fashioned indica, I think is how you say it. Is it indica? Anyway, I'm probably saying it wrong. Azalea that's going to bloom in the fall and the spring, and it's still going to get that big giant size. I'm wanting the big giant size, the like 8-foot by 8-foot giant azalea, to go in my wild area. And I talked about that in my 2025 garden goals video, and also in the last video that I just did about our garden tour and property updates. I'm working on that bed over there. It's going to be half cultivated, half wild, and I need some really big, huge azaleas that are going to take up space to put over there. And I found them, and they were the, I'll show you the variety in the video. I found them at a great price. I got 5, and they could get up to 10 feet wide. So that's going to be a good expanse. It's going to really cover a great area over there. Most of the reblooming varieties I find are smaller. They're smaller azaleas, which are great because they're great for flower beds. But for this particular project I'm working on, I want that old-fashioned big azalea look to take up more space, to block out the wild area in the middle. And this one fits the bill. I didn't know that they had made this, that they had hybridized this particular plant, and they have, and I'm excited. So I'm going to take you to Tractor Supply. We're going to see all the cool stuff that they have. You can order a lot of it online from them as well. And then at the end, I will show you my haul. But I'm also going to show you a Wisteria wonderland, a little pocket of magic that we found on our way back from Tractor Supply. It was behind this little church here in Georgia. Wisteria that goes up about 60 feet from the ground up and just 360 all around this huge expanse of maybe a football field size. Utter magic, just absolutely unbelievable. This is what it's about. This is what I live for. There's nothing like springtime in the South. So anyway, stay tuned for that. That's going to be at the end of the video. And of course, my little plant haul will be at the end of the video too. So let's get into it and let's go see what great deals there are at Tractor Supply.
All right, so here we are at the Tractor Supply, pulling up to where they have all of their vegetables and their fruit trees. They had a really great selection of fruit trees and some really great prices on them. They had apple, they had peaches, they had some ornamental cherry trees, all kinds of good stuff. So I'm going to show you guys a couple different ones. You can see the price on there. I was really impressed with the fruit trees that they had. So $39.99 for all of the different beautiful fruit trees, and so many of them, of course, are blooming right now. They had a great variety of peach and a Moschino cherry tree I saw in the back. They even had a really nice, good-sized magnolia tree, like southern magnolia, for $89.99, and it's right there, and I have a good shot of it too. So coming up here, they had a really great selection, price-wise, they don't have very many left, of some little blueberry plants up here, $14.99, that's a great price. And then at the bottom, they had some soft touch holly as well. And then the plant of the month is their knockout rose, their pink knockout. It's a 2-gallon size for $19.99, and this is a great rose for so many people. I think that knockouts and landscape type roses definitely are wonderful to have, especially in certain places. So good deals on those. And then, of course, they had a beautiful selection of the bonnie plants, the vegetables. They even had some sweet potatoes left. And this is the first place I've seen that's even had any sweet potatoes, but they only had 1 6-pack. But they had their single-sized bonnie plants on sale. So not the little 6-packs, but you'll see there is a sign coming up. And I've never seen any of the bonnie vegetables on sale. So that was very surprising, and also there's sweet potatoes, also a fantastic deal. So these vegetables back on the other side of this rack are 3 for $12, and that's for the 4.5-inch size, and I will show you those in a second. You're going to see the sign coming up too, but like I've been saying, I just never see the bonnie plants, the vegetables, the herbs, any of that ever on sale or for a different price at any of the stores. So this was a welcome surprise. Then they had a pretty good price on rosemary. Rosemary is very expensive, but back here on this rack, it said that there were 3 for $15. So I usually see the rosemary, as you can see, priced a little bit higher. So 3 for $15 is a good deal. And of course, they had onions to plant. And then on the back side, here are some of those 4.5-inch sized bonnie plant containers. Looks like they had peppers and some tomatoes. Some good stuff, some really good stuff. And then here's the price for that magnolia, $89.99. It's probably one of the best prices I've ever seen for a magnolia tree. My husband actually wants to plant one of these on our property, but we have not pressed the go button on this yet, but one day I think that we will. And then we'll check out a couple more fruit trees. There's a nice apple tree here for $39.99. They had some they're just all very healthy, so they probably just got them in. They even had a pear tree. There was a plum tree here, and they were all $39.99 and in great condition. And then here was, I think it's called the Belle of Georgia Peach. I like the name on that one. They had a couple different varieties of peach trees. And then, of course, the strawberry plants and the hanging baskets that I've been seeing that I think are kind of funny. And then as you walk inside, we're going to go into the garden center and see what they have. And this is the most exciting part. Tractor Supply has these giant tin chickens. I'm going to try to pan over and show you think they're really cute and whimsical, and they have a bunch of them. So if you are looking for a giant chicken, they've got them here at Tractor Supply. You can buy it online and pick up in store, or they'll deliver to your house, which is great. So here's some more of the plant of the month, the beautiful, healthy looking pink knockout rose. And then as we wind around the side, this is where I found the azaleas that I am so thrilled about. There is the Echo Augusta there on the left. I'm going to show you close up. This is Peachy Keen. This one will bloom in the shade a lot better than most varieties. Get about 3 to 4 feet tall. And I just love this for my flower bed because it's the perfect color. And I love that it will take a shadier spot, which is what I have in that front flower bed. Not all of the rebloom azaleas are created equal. Some take more shade, some need full sun. Here is the Echo Augusta that I picked up that I love, that old-fashioned look. Here's a snow azalea, another really pretty one that I didn't get, but thought it was very showy and nice. Then they had some Encore azaleas. These were 2-gallon size, so they were pretty big. They had them on sale at Home Depot, but they were not quite this size. This is a 2-gallon, like I said, and they were going for $24.99. I think for the size, that is still a really good price. And then they had the silver gumdrop heuchera. Oh my goodness, for $12.99 from Proven Winners. I've been looking for this everywhere. I love the color of it. It just really brightens up a shady garden, and I'm excited to have found it. And then they had autumn lily. They had a bunch of the Encore azalea varieties. Not as many as Lowe's and Home Depot, but a good amount. And then, of course, carnations. They had a pretty good deal on some fragrant carnations as well. These are the perennial dianthus, or carnations. So good price on those. And then they had the sky pencil holly, pretty good size for $19.99. These are evergreen. These are great to landscape with. They're also very narrow, which is nice, and that's a great price for that size. Then of course they had some Fire Chief arborvitaes. I'm going to show you some bigger ones in the back. The price on this one was $19.99. And then the boxwood, the wintergreen boxwood, not a bad price at $8.99, but I saw great ones at Lowe's that were a little bit healthier in my opinion, or let's say bigger and growing a little straighter. Then we've got some of the Laura petalum. That's a hard word to say, $18.99, not bad. And they carry a brand called Gardener's Confidence, yeah. That's what Tractor Supply carries a lot of. And then of course the Proven Winners brand as well. And then they had some rhododendron, I believe they were $18.99, didn't get the price on those. Some camellias in the back, which were very beautiful. They were coming in at $29.99. That was a 2-gallon size. Pretty color on that one. And then I'm going to show you, they didn't have any gardenias in yet, and they had really great prices on gardenias last year for really healthy plants. I think it was the Daisy gardenia, and then August Beauty gardenia. So I'll be looking for those later. But these arbs were really big, as you can see, and a really good price for those if you're making like a screen or something like that. Another Yoshino cherry tree. Those are beautiful when they bloom. And then they had back here around the corner, I just wanted to show you, we already checked out those arborvitaes, but I wanted to show you the ferns that they have. And they were not, of course, they were still not as good a price as they are at Walmart. So Walmart still wins for the ferns on the rollback for $8.98. These were, what were they, $12.98, I think. They had Confederate jasmine up here in a very good size, $18.99. And then on the left, they had Ladybanks, the Ladybanks rose, which is thornless, 2-gallon for $18.99. That's a great buy for that. Then they had another holly that is not a soft touch holly. Just thought I would show you this really quick. Maybe you're in the market for a holly. They didn't have a whole lot of them though, but not bad, not a bad price. Another arborvitae, lots of those, $17.99 for that size. The ones in the back were a lot bigger though. It's a different variety. And then coming up, they had some really nice looking salvia as well. Not too bad of a price here on some great little coreopsis. And I do have some of this blue salvia that I have bought before, and it really just comes back every year. It's very hardy. That's a great price on those salvia. Here's a cute little daisy. I don't buy a lot of daisies, but I know some people really love them. I have a little bit of trouble with them from time to time where I live because it gets so hot. And then they have a beautiful selection of potted plants, as you can see, in cute little containers. Be a great place to pick up some gifts. Here are some tropical plants, some of their hibiscus. I love this color. Mom and I were talking about how we wanted to get one. Of course, you have to overwinter them here, put them in a greenhouse or something like that. They just won't make it through our winters, but man, they're just so pretty. And then we're gonna check out a few more things. Come to Gerber daisies over here. Of course, they had a few other geraniums, and then some creeping Jenny. Creeping Jenny is one of my favorite little fillers for containers. Comes back so reliably. And what else? Let's see. This is one of my favorite ivies to use. I use that in a lot of containers. I even put her in a couple of spots in my front flower bed. And then they had some impatiens. They didn't have the 6-packs here. They just had the size, but these are actually a little bit better because if you have voles or those little chipmunks, they don't really mess with these. But if you put the little 6-packs in, sometimes they'll try to dig up the small plants. And then we are almost through with the garden center, but I'm gonna take you inside for a quick peek. And I'm also, of course, gonna show you the beautiful wisteria patch that we found, so hold tight for that. So here is just a really quick look of some of the fun little decorations that they have inside, like cute little farmy looking things for your kitchen, or maybe if you have a sunroom you could decorate. There's some more of those wonderful giant metal chickens. I think those are so cute. One of my garden friends out in California, that would look perfect in her garden. I think she needs one. And then there's a few more of those little tin chickens. These are a lot smaller though, so these would be a lot doable for a lot of people. It'd be cute to have the big one though, and then some smaller ones, like a whole chicken family. A couple different containers, just wanted to show you. They have not a huge selection compared to like Home Depot or Lowe's or even Walmart, but they do have some nice ones. And then why not? Let's take one pass by the chickens and just see if they have any chickens today. And it looks like the answer is no. All right, so now we're gonna switch gears and I'm gonna take you behind this beautiful little church here in Georgia, and look what I found. This is wisteria. It is just, it's probably 100 feet up in the air from the ground up. 60 feet for sure. It is just absolutely amazing. And as soon as we got out of the truck, you were just taken by the sweet smell of those flowers. There's my daughter. We had to do a little mini photo shoot, of course. But I'm gonna be quiet for a second, just play some music and let you guys just sit back and enjoy this beautiful natural beauty, natural flowers. Some people say it's invasive. I don't know. I think it's gorgeous. I want to add some to our property, but let's just enjoy the purple together.
All right, so let me show you what I actually brought home with me from Tractor Supply. I'm just going to, I've already kind of placed them out of my landscape, so I know where they're gonna go, and I can hide them from my husband. Just kidding, I'm not hiding them. He's always like, more plants? Anyway, no, he loves it. He knows how much I love landscaping and our property and everything. I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. Anyway, but let me show you where I've got them. I've got them in the wild area already set out, and I've got them up here at the front of our flower bed. So let me go show you what I picked up. All right, so I got this Echo Peachy Keen, as you can see right here. They are 2-gallon size. They were $20. It's a steal. You cannot find that size. I haven't found them for this price anywhere for this particular size, this particular variety. These are a little bit different than the Encore azaleas, of course, because these can take more shade, and they also are still rebloomers. Usually, like with Encore, and there's one other variety on the market that's not Encore, they are more sun-loving azaleas, and these are, you know, they just take more shade, and I've got a lot of shade up here. So super excited about these. That's going to be a nice color. I also have some other rebloom azaleas that are right, I think Coral Amazement is the name. They're kind of tucked in here. They stay smaller. Likely through the years, I'm gonna have to prune these back a little bit. They're probably gonna grow into them. I'm not gonna worry about that now, but I probably will have to watch them, and they probably will get a little bit, you know, close to each other. So let me show you the other one. But before I do, there's my silver gumdrop heuchera. I just have it placed here right now. I got 3 of them. Guys, I was so thrilled and so excited to get this plant. It's gonna look so nice and bright. I think it's gonna help really brighten up this area. I have some other of the purpley red kind of heuchera here, but as you can see, it kind of fades in. But that silver, I tell you, I am excited about it. So I picked up 3 of her. Okay, and here is the Echo Augusta Echo. Or sorry, Echo Augusta Echo, yes. This one is, I showed you in the video already, but it could possibly get 6 to 10 feet high and wide. That is what I want for this area. And it's got that, looks just like my mama's. Just looks like my mama's did. I absolutely love this. I can't wait to take my girls' pictures in front of these as they grow. It also was $20 for this 2-gallon size. And I picked up 5, and I'm going to be placing them here in this wild area. I'm gonna leave the inside wild. These are gonna grow on the perimeter. Eventually gonna put some hydrangeas in front of them as well. But I am so excited about finding these. It's exactly what I wanted, and I found them for a great price. They're gonna take mostly sun. They can take a little shade too, which is what this area is gonna have. It's gonna have a nice morning sun for about 6 hours probably, actually. So yeah, super excited.
Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every one of you. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, we would love for you to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know what's going on in your world. And I'll see you back here next time at the Real Southern Garden. Bye guys.